Today's hearing has received significant attention throughout the country, and with some good reason. The proposed merger between Comcast and Time Warner has implications for two markets that affect the everyday lives of most Americans. Certainly a majority of the people in my state and in the country as a whole. Most Americans pay a monthly bill for both video and broadband internet. In fact, as recently as 2012, 90% of U.S. households with a television paid for a television subscription. And a recent study concluded that approximately 70% of U.S. adults over the age of 18 have broadband access within their home. The parties to this proposed merger have carefully structured their transaction in an apparent effort to maximize their chances of gaining the necessary regulatory approval. The two companies assure us that they do not currently compete in each other's footprint, and the combined company would have less than 30% of the video market, a number that some have suggested as a figure within a sort of safe harbor for concentration within the relevant market. Comcast has vertically integrated with NBC Universal. This is a complicating factor for a large distributor of video content and broadband internet that's seeking to become larger. But as the company points out, it remains subject to conditions stemming from regulatory approval of that previous transaction. The proposed merger has nonetheless raised some potentially very serious concerns. This transaction takes place against a backdrop of significant pre-existing concerns with respect to the competitive state of the market for video and for broadband internet. I've heard concerns for some time that the effects of robust competition, whether experienced in terms of pricing or quality of service, are not currently enjoyed in these markets. It's important that this committee take into account the state of competition in the markets for video and internet, as pre-existing issues may make it more likely for a large transaction to pose some kind of a competitive threat. At the same time, if concerns related to this transaction result only from issues affecting those industries as a whole, it may arguably be unfair to the merging parties to impose only on them conditions designed to ameliorate competition. Regardless of the outcome of the agency's review of this transaction, I think it's important for Congress to continue to monitor the competitive state within these markets throughout the country. Concerns with this transaction also arise from the nature of the services at issue. Internet in particular is of obvious importance to American families and to businesses, and it is of special importance to an increasing degree. The combined company will potentially control greater than 50% of high-speed internet access across the country. Markets do, of course, change quickly, and government must be careful not to step in where economic forces will better direct and better incentivize future investment and development of new products. But where the stakes are high, and surely they are high with respect to Americans' access to the internet, any potential for anti-competitive effects or for undue control of that market must be scrutinized very carefully. It's also important to note here that this is an extremely large transaction affecting both the video market and the internet market. A complicating factor arises given that Comcast owns NBC Universal. Considering the significant share of the video and internet market that the new Comcast would have, and considering the well-known political leanings of NBC, I've heard concerns that Comcast might have the incentive and the ability to discriminate against certain political content, including, for example, conservative political content, and that that capacity could be significantly enhanced as a result of this transaction. Now, as with any matter before this committee or the relevant enforcement agencies, It's essential that we apply proper economic analysis and ground our conclusions in the evidence before us by ensuring that we protect competition or rather than trying to protect any individual company or competitor from competition. We can help create market conditions that benefit consumers and promote economic growth throughout the country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.